afternoon, staff members, and thank you for joining me for today's professional development workshop titled Providing a Proper Classroom Environment for Students with ASD. I am your presenter, Autism Specialist Candice Clark, and I would like to take a minute to introduce our guest speaker, Mrs. Tracy Reed Thompson. Mrs. Tracy Reed Thompson has been employed with the school district for 29 plus years and is a supervisor for di- um, the Department of Curriculum and Instruction. Ms. Thompson will be joining us throughout this workshop and also provide information on the importance of the classroom environment. A proper classroom environment for students with ASD is welcoming to all types of learners and is aligned with proper materials, tools, technologies so that students can function in a safe and fun as well as productive environment free of stress and anxieties. I have provided a source for you to peruse when you have a chance by Ms. Paula Kloof, who is the author of Supporting Students with Autism 10 Ideas for Classrooms, a key element um, to a conducive learning environment is to get to know your students. Our topic one is students. We want to talk about our students' needs, what they need. Are there any special modifications that they need? Who our students are? Um, what's their culture? What's their background? Another important item is we want to know what our student goals is. We want to identify our goals so that we're helping our students learn and be conducive and productive. And another important element that we want to know about our students is their IEP. What's in their IEP? Are there special modifications? Are there services that our students need to receive or need to be provided with? Topic number two is the physical layout of the classroom. The physical layout of the classroom is important because it needs to be conducive as well as productive for our students. You want to look at the furniture arrangement, how the furniture is arranged. Um, is it arranged in a way that all students can see the materials throughout the classroom? Is it arranged so that students can have access to the teachers and the staff members in the classroom? Do they have the proper access to materials such as books, um, technology? Can they reach things off the shelf? We want to make sure that items are labeled correctly or shelves that workstations are labeled so students will know this is a workstation. So students will know this is a quiet area. And it's important that students know our boundaries. We want to make sure that um, areas where they can't go are identified. For example, do not pass the doorway without an adult. Do not access certain materials that may be not so much as dangerous, but may need the assistance of an adult. Another important element of the classroom is sensory stimulation. According to Markins and Wilkins, um, stimulation is good, but you don't want to provide too much stimulation. Stimulation that will draw the attention away from the goals that you're trying to set or the lesson being taught in the classroom. Things that are important to pay attention to when providing sensory stimulation. You want to look at things such as lighting. Is there too much light? Are students light sensitive? Is there not enough light? You want to look at aspects such as windows, are they open, are they closed? Um, the height level, if windows are going to be a distraction. For example, you might not want to sit a student near the window because they're going to keep looking out. Um, and we want to provide toys and objects to help stimulate their students that can help calm them down, that can give them time to refocus and things of that nature. Another important part of the classroom environment is clutter. As teachers, we all collect things that we think um, will be of service to our students and that we may can use further down the line. But again, we don't want to keep too much clutter in the classroom. We want to make sure that items are visually appropriate. We want to make sure that there's schedules posted throughout the classroom. We want to make sure that there's charts available, labels, all at the same token. We want to make sure that these visuals aren't too bright, aren't too overwhelming for the student. Another area that we would like to focus on is organization. Um, Organization of student teacher resources or books in a proper place. Can students reach them? Can they access these materials without having to ask a staff member? Um, are they in arm's reach? Are they prepared? Um, we also want to talk about the organization of desk, teacher, and student desks. We want to make sure that materials are accessible and again that we can easily reach them without any problem, without any degree. We also want to discuss data collection. Um, when we have information such as assessments or certain tools that we need um, to help assist us teach our students. We don't want to have to go looking through file cabinets. We don't want to have to um, dig through roll books and things of that nature. So information like that you may want to keep in a specific place, such as on a clipboard that's accessible to you and the staff members as they walk in, or if you have a parent conference with the parents, you want to make sure that you can obtain that information quickly. And you also want to make sure that it's stored in a safe place. Student information should never be accessible to other students and those who do not provide any type of assistance or care for the students. Another important component of the classroom for students with ASD is the Calming Center. Um, According to an article that we read and reviewed, um, the Classroom Common Corner helps children to self regulate their feelings, helps to self regulate their emotions, as well as control their impulses. The Common Corner setup, it doesn't have to be very big, it doesn't have to be um, filled with a lot of things. It just has to be an inviting, warming place. It could be in a corner of the room, maybe a book area. You might want to add some materials like a calming lamp or maybe a fluffy pillow or a friend, a nice warming poster, or maybe a view for students to look at. I visited one class, they had a mirror in the calming corner so students could see their reflection when they first went over there and realized, oh, I'm mad, I need to get myself together. And then before leaving the calming center, they was allowed to look at the mirror again and see their self in a relaxed state. Another important um, part of the classroom is structure. You want to create routines for your students so that way they get used to doing things in an orderly fashion. Another thing that is important for structure is transition from activity to activity, maybe from one class to another, or just from one area to another. You want to get students used to transition because transition helps to create, number one, independence. Um, Transitioning properly helps to decline behaviors. Transitioning is important. It helps students get right into the next activity. So you just want to kind of make sure that you have things set up so that students can leave from one thing to the next. And that's where your visual schedule will also play a hand in because then your students can see, I need to leave from one area, go to another area. Another thing that we want to create in the classroom, which is also very, very important into structure and classroom setup, is you want to set expectations for your students. This is something that you want to go over with them in the very beginning. Expectations help set the tone. It helps students to understand what is expected of them, what will not be tolerated, um, and just what the overall mission is and the rules of the classroom. Again, this is part of a visual component. Um, Rules should be clear, expectations should be clear and understanding, and this is something that you might want to post about the classroom. But Ms. Tracy Reed Thompson will be joining us now. If you have any questions on what is presented, please see me and I can email you all the information that was discussed today. I can email you the references that was listed. Thank you for joining us and have a great afternoon.